Hey everybody, it's me again, Jose Segura, your SMEA president. Welcome to another episode of Fireside Chat with the President. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy June 19th, everybody. Happy Juneteenth. So quick in this episode, let's run it down. We'll talk a little bit about what Juneteenth is. We're going to talk about the state budget. We're going to go, there's going to be a school board meeting on this coming Wednesday, talking about a luncheon we're putting on for local firefighters, and also the school reopening letter that we're sending to district and our new statewide order to wear masks in public. So let's start with Juneteenth. For those of you who aren't quite sure what Juneteenth is about, Juneteenth is not about the Emancipation Proclamation, which occurred in January of 1863, right? So after that occurred, we live in this time of instant information. Something that happens in China, I know about it 30 seconds later, because we have access to all this information. It's at our fingertips at any given moment. But in the 1860s, it wasn't the case. And so the Emancipation Proclamation was signed in January of 63, but there was this pocket of Confederacy in Galveston, Texas, and those folks, those slaves didn't found out about their emancipation until June 19th of 1865, right? 2.5 years later. And so Juneteenth is a celebration of those folks, that pocket of slavery within Texas, and those slaves at the time who had just discovered that emancipation had been granted by then President Lincoln. And so happy Juneteenth, everybody. All right, let's move on to budget, our next thing. So I was really hoping that this episode was going to be a conversation about a state final budget, right? So those of you who follow state budget, you know that on June 15th, the state was to have settled on a budget for the year, and the rules are that if there's no budget in place, then legislators don't get paid. Well, June 15th, the legislators submitted a budget to the governor. They knew it was going to be a budget that he wasn't going to sign, but they went ahead and did that anyway because it kind of triggers then this hard and fast negotiations process that needs to occur so that we can come up with a final budget. So as of the recording of this video, there is no final budget for the state of California for the fiscal 2020-2021 year. So I'm really, really, really hopeful that that's going to be settled soon, and then we can kind of move forward from there. So that's state budget. Again, I was hoping we could have that conversation because we talked about pieces that need to be in place in order to really solidify plans for next year. There was guidelines from the State Department of Public Health as well as the California Department of Education. Those we have, and I shared those with you last week, right? We're hoping for some legislative changes in not only how funding occurs, because ADA is most likely going to be difficult come this fall, but also minimum number of instructional minutes in school days. Those really need to be modified, or some flexibility needs to be built into there so that districts can have the flexibility to create schedules which will allow them to access all of their students in a safe manner. Hopefully the state's budget will also include some of these legislative flexibilities. Anyway, so we're really hoping for that. Next thing I have on my list is a school board meeting. There's a school board meeting next week on Wednesday, June 24th. That meeting starts at 6 p.m. And in the email that this video was attached to, you'll find links to the agenda for the board meeting, the actual full packet for the board meeting, which is in digital form. So not only the agenda item, but what's included in that item. You're going to find a link to an email address if you want to submit a comment during the public comment section, because we're not physically there in person. Public comments are to be done in writing. It's your public comment needs to be read within a 3-minute span, no more than 450 words. You won't actually read your own comment. You'll submit it to the address, the email address, and then it'll be read for you out loud at the board meeting. And those comments need to be submitted by 3 p.m. on Tuesday before the Wednesday board meeting. So check the agenda, look at the items, look at the expanded agenda so you can look at really what the whole packet includes. And if you want to comment on anything on that agenda, please submit it in writing. If you want to comment on something that's not on the agenda, you could also submit that in writing with the same restrictions, 450 words max, read within a 3-minute period or less, and submitted by 3 p.m. on the Tuesday before the board meeting. So get that done. All right, next thing is the school reopening letter. So in the email that this video was attached to, there's a brief description of a letter that we sent to the district regarding SMEA's participation in the creation of any school reopening plan, as well as our desire to bargain any changes to working conditions that are a result of a school opening plan. We've been having this conversation with district for the last several weeks about our desire to be part of any designing of the school reopening plan, but also our need to bargain any changes in our working conditions that are a result of the reopening plan. And so we formalized that in a letter. It was sent to district cabinet today, and you all get a copy of it along with this fireside chat and this FAQ update. So there's that. The next thing is, let's see, firefighters luncheon. So most of you don't know this because we don't really go around talking about it, but SMEA as a local organization here in the San Maria Valley, we really try and utilize local businesses and services as much as possible. So when we order our SMEA gear shirts, those are all coming from a local vendor. They're being produced by a local family. And when we do our siesta, post-siesta fiesta at the beginning of the year, we use a local catering company. When we have our meetings, whether it's rep council meetings or executive board meetings, we always provide food for all the attendees, and we always source that from local companies. Any printing we do, like tickets for our SMEA dinner, bumper stickers, all these things, we try and source all that locally. And so we work hard to do that because we know it's important to, as a local company, local organization, to support local businesses. Well, it's been difficult to do that during the school closure because a lot of the gatherings that require, that have us accessing local services and local businesses, we haven't been hosting those events, right? The SMEA recognition dinner is a good example. Not only do we utilize the Elks, which is a big local organization, and our contribution to them by utilizing them allows them to generate more revenue for a lot of their community projects that they put together. We weren't able to do that. So it's things like that we couldn't do. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to still utilize these local businesses and repurpose how we use them. Several weeks ago, we used Jovi's Bakery, who we use them for all of our rep council and executive board meetings for food. They were able to provide sandwiches and snacks and stuff for the ER and ICU nurses over at Marion Hospital. So it was about the same amount of money we usually spend on meetings, food for meetings. We use that to hire Jovi to provide meals for ER and ICU staff, frontline folks. Well, next Thursday, we're going to do something similar with the firefighters and the fire department staff for Santa Maria. We use Taco Man Express a couple times a year for our back to school event, but also for a smaller event, end of the year luncheon for our reps. Our site reps, something kind of like a reward for end of the year, kind of a get together. So because we're not doing that, instead of that, we're going to put on this luncheon for the firefighters next Thursday. And Taco Man Express is going to be the caterer for that event. So we're really looking forward to that. And so not only will it be the local firefighters for the San Maria Fire Department, but also fire department staff. Again, just more frontline folks who are out there every day doing the do, protecting our community, protecting our students and the families of our students who are right here in the San Maria Valley. So we're really looking forward to doing that next year. And let's see, what else do I have? The last thing I have here is the statewide order to wear masks. And so, of course, I'm not wearing a mask right now because I'm staying in a room all by myself. But the governor has put out the statewide order. If you're not sure when you're supposed to wear a mask, go back to the email that this video was linked to, and it gives a brief description of the locations and the times when a mask is appropriate. So if you don't have a mask, get yourself a mask. They're everywhere now. I mean, everybody is selling them. I saw a guy in a street corner the other day selling masks, literally on the street corner selling masks, just like somebody would with oranges or roses and that kind of stuff. So they're everywhere. They're super reasonable. Make sure that you have a couple of different masks that you can switch between while you're cleaning one. You have one that you can wear, and that you are prepared. And it doesn't matter if you live in San Luis County or Santa Barbara County or Ventura County. This is a statewide order, something that all counties should be adhering to. We want to make sure that we protect ourselves, we protect others, and when we're getting closer to getting back to school, we won't know what orders are still going to be in place come August, but we do know that safety is going to be the priority, right? Regardless of what school looks like in August, safety is going to be job one for both classified, certificated, and management. Keeping our employees safe, keeping our students safe, and then by extension, the families of our employees and the families of our students, keeping them as safe as possible come this fall. And so this statewide mask wearing order, I think, is a great start. All right, that's all I have for you today. There's a lot of information back at the email that this video was attached to. So there's lots of great links. Click on that stuff. Governor's announcements, a great forum that was put on regarding race and race relations. Really some amazing student representatives who came out, shared their story, talked about what they're doing. Please click on those links. There's a lot of great stuff there. And that's all. We'll talk to you all soon. Have a great weekend.